Fear, scared of everything. You know, I've been there. I've been in a place where I'm just always afraid, always constantly on the defense of what could possibly go wrong, what might happen, what could happen. It's weak, it's whack, it'll lead you to live a very miserable and sheltered life. And I see that shit everywhere. I see it in all kinds of people, but I can only see it because I've seen it in myself for so long. And I'm still, to one degree or another, battling with the residual effects of living like that for so long. Just always running from the things that I know are gonna make me uncomfortable, the things that I'm scared of, all that fear, bro. And I see it sometimes, and I just like, especially if I see it in someone who's older than me, and I'm like, fuck, like you're gonna throw the rest of your life away. You're gonna throw the rest of your, like, at least if you're younger, you still have an opportunity to mature and go through certain experiences that kind of force you into that growth. But like, listen, I could have easily been one of the individuals who just continue to run for my entire life. But I was like, man, fuck that. I can't be like that, bro. That is the worst feeling. That's true misery. True misery. You're throwing your life away. I cannot condone living like that. I understand being afraid, and I understand, easing your way into things sometimes, but you have to do the things that make you uncomfortable. Otherwise, you're gonna live a homebody, like scared of, can't do nothing. And the thing about it is that your spirit and your conscience or God or whatever you want to call it is always telling you to do the things that you're afraid to do. Always telling you to do more. To like, oh, you could do this, and then we just deny it and like, fuck, nah, that's too much. I don't want to do that or whatever, man. But that's the thing though. That thing that's always talking to us is always telling us to eradicate fear. But we just want to live in this space of, I don't know, man. I guess it's just a space of just low negative energy, because that's really what it is. It's just negativity, bro. It's just negative. You're always thinking about the bad outcome. Never like, I don't know. This is something I think about too. It's like, why don't we ever flip things in our favor? We always flip things to be what's gonna go wrong. Never like, well, what could go right? You know what I'm saying? Never have I did that. I never did that growing up. I never did that as even up until 5-6 years ago. I never flipped an event and thought like, what could go right? I could go in there and kill it, but that all stems from you having low self-esteem and just thinking that you're not capable of anything. And but the all-encompassing theme of this is just being fucking scary, just being scared. Fear. You fear everything. You fear death, and God forbid you fear death, because when you fear dying, you fear everything involved in life, because all you're ever thinking about is how it could go wrong and how it could potentially take your life. Man, that shit is weak. That's a weak, punk ass mentality. It's so punk. It's just so weak to me to live like that. And I've lived like that for so long, and I had to look in the mirror and call myself out and call myself a punk. Like, you're a coward. You're a coward because you can't do anything because you're scary. You understand what I'm saying? You'll never be the person you want to be. You'll never have the things you want to be because you're too scared. Too scared to even get involved in things that make you uncomfortable. So, as I grow, I'm trying to continue to create a process that puts me in the fire every day, where I'm doing tasks every single day that's just going to make me stronger, make me more resilient, make me more capable, make me more able to withstand certain triggers and stressors in my life, to where nothing phases me. I'm looking for true self-mastery. I'm trying to get to a point in my life where I'm not fazed by these things anymore. These things, I am the captain of my ship. You get what I'm saying? I'm not allowing these things around me, all these external factors, to dictate how I feel about my life and how I view my life. I'm looking at the events that happen to me as happening for me, not to me. You get what I'm saying? And until I change my mindset, and until I change the way that I conduct myself, because if the mindset don't match the actions, then it don't matter. And if the self-talk is not affirming all of that, then it don't matter. Because I can show up every day, but if I'm talking to myself like all of the things that I'm doing are just like, oh, why do I gotta do this? Oh man, this is no fun. I don't like. Then I'm reaffirming that weak ass, punk ass mentality. You get what I'm saying? And that's the last thing I want in my life anymore. I need stability. I need to be a solid motherfucker, straight up. That's just how I feel, and that's just what it's gonna be until I die. You know what I'm saying? Like, this path that I'm on does not stop. It does not stop, because I see the benefits that it's bringing in my life every single day, and the growth is exponential. And in time, it's gonna present itself in many physical ways. You know what I'm saying? As I continue to make good on my days, as I continue to highlight my activities, and things are getting done, and I'm not negotiating on whether or not I want to do certain things, and just doing what needs to be done instead of always being like, I don't feel like doing it, I'm tired, Listen, and I understand. I understand all of it. I understand all of it. I understand being tired. I get it. I understand that. And I'm not, and to be honest, all of that is valid. It's all valid. But at the same time, life does not give a fuck about any of it. That's the facts. Life don't care. It's going to keep doing what life does. And that's what I be trying to explain sometimes, is that life is going to do what life is going to do. So until you learn how to combat it by doing what the fuck you need to do, regardless of how you feel about it, you're going to stay at a certain position for the rest of your life. And these are things that I'm battling through every single day, that I'm learning as I grow and become better and become more conscious and aware of my own self. These are the realities. Life is going to do what life does, and it's going to bring you events until the day that you get up out of here that are going to test you, that are going to make you feel like giving up. They're going to make you want to break. They're going to make you want to even take your own self out sometimes. You understand what I'm saying? So until we learn how to combat these things, until we learn how to truly get to a place where we can master ourselves and be decent at being ourselves, because we're not even good at that. We can't hold our word to ourselves. We always negotiating on shit with ourselves. It's all facts, bro. But until we can get to a place where we can finally kind of jump these hurdles and these boundaries and barriers to our own success and to our own happiness and to our own fulfillment, we're going to stay in this spot of just like negativity and just always thinking that, why me, why me, why me? And I get it, it's easy to fall into these mentalities, because how many people do you know that look at it in a different way? That's all you've been conditioned to think about anything, is when something happens, is, oh man. And sometimes I even feel like it may be innate. It may be a natural thing to think like, why is this happening to me? Woe is me, woe is me, woe is me. I don't know. Maybe there's some scientific evidence behind that. I don't know. But what I do know is the moment that you can flip it and make it to your advantage, you're creating an individual that can't lose. You cannot lose with that mentality. And even if you do lose, you're not really losing, because you're learning. You get what I'm saying? So the idea is to create an individual that is just unbreakable. You can't break me no matter what. And that's what I want in my life. That's why I instill certain values, and I will instill these values, and I will stand on these values until I can't stand on them no more. That's just how I feel. And they may not make sense to people, and it may be crazy and absurd, and I understand. Trust me, I do. I get it. But for the sake of my sanity, for the sake of my spirit, for the sake of my growth, I have to elevate to a different level within myself in order to not, because listen, to me it's all or nothing. That's my mindset. It's like I'm either all in or I'm all out. You feel me? I can't play the middle, because when I start to play the middle, that's what eats me up the most, is because I feel like I'm not committed. So it's either I'm all in and I'm committed, or I'm all out and I'm going back to that lifestyle that was fucking me up for so long, that when I think about, frightens me, and it makes me feel uneasy, just like, It's a very uneasy feeling, and I don't guess, maybe it doesn't frame me so much as I just remember it so well. I remember how dark it was, and it was such a place that was just so full of negativity and victimization, and it's just, that's not how I want to continue to live. How I want to continue to live is listening to that voice that's always speaking to all of us, telling us to, you know, you could do more than that. You know, you're better than that. You know, you can live a more structured life than what you're living. You know, that ain't right. You know, you're not treating that person right. You know, you're not doing this. You know, you're not. I want to adhere to that voice because it's never seemed to fail me. Never seemed to fail me. It's only made me better by listening to it, by listening to everybody else and everybody else's perspective on how life should be, and watching everybody else's perspective on how life should be. I've gotten more negativity than positivity. Of course, I've met plenty of positive people in my life, but I mean, I guess I'm talking more so about how we deal with these issues that come about. You know, a lot of the times it's happening to us. It's always happening to us, and I get that mentality. I guess I try to overemphasize how much I understand this mentality. That's how I can even speak on it, because I am that person. I am that person that I'm speaking about. I am the person that was a punk, scared, afraid, coward, negative, all victim, all of this. This was me. This was me, and it still is to some degree. But my journey and my path is to grow out of these ways of being. I cannot be like this anymore, because if I continue to be like this, it's going to destroy me. It's going to destroy my life, and I'm going to look back in however many years and regret my entire life, because I was living as if I didn't have only one life, and that I was going to live multiple times, and this was just a trial run. This was my trial run. Come on, man. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. I have to do my best and be intentional with my life. Otherwise, listen. So anyway, appreciate you watching once again. Peace.